what the hell is UI? It can be a lot of different things. It's buttons, it's tabs, it's volume settings, it's search bars, it's clipping, it's the 3-dot tab, it's actions, so things open tabs. It can also be things that just display information. Think in video games, a health bar, a mini map, how much mana you have left, what your potion counts at, how much ammo do you have left. That's all UI. That's all stuff that's stuff that you, the user, are interfacing with. And that's could be good or bad, there's a lot of stuff going on with it. And really, UI can really be broken down into 3 categories. You've got good, neutral, and bad. Now, we're mostly going to be focusing on the good and the bad. Neutral is boring. Neutral is black text, white background, square boxes. Yeah, boring. Good UI, however, is honestly not even that noticeable at times. That's kind of the best part about it, is that you become so good that you fade in the background. You become an expectation for people. So we're going to take a couple of examples here. Like YouTube, for instance. YouTube offers some great features for us. You've got, I use the dark mode, so you have things like the buttons for me to customize my channel, have a different color background so they pop against the dark background. The text is bright white and has a white line underneath it to contrast against that black background. And the other text around it are grayed out to help further indicate which section I'm actually on. On Twitch, they kind of take a similar approach. In fact, they have a color change with it. Now the selected section now also gets a line underneath it, but it gets a color shift too. So now you have an even bigger indicator of what this is, and things that might lead to a change of state or a different page or a different tab or whatever the case may be. It shows an arrow, you get an icon, you get to see that there's an action that comes along with this. Same thing over here in the shorts section of it. You have the like button. You get to see the direct correlation between the button and the number underneath. So you have that direct relationship. Same thing with the share down here. You have the icon that in and of itself might be a little confusing just on its own. So you have the label to go along with it to help provide that clarity. It's a good way to show, feedback for your users, to give them some reassurance into what you're doing. That's what good UI is. On the other hand, bad UI is really bad, and it's really noticeable. Let's take, for instance, Lynx Cars. Lynx Cars is bad. It is inarguably bad. It is, there's a lot going on here. Everything's moving around. This stuff has weird highlights. It's see-through. The background's crazy. Yeah, so it's hard to read. And they're aware of the fact that it's bad. Look at this. I highlighted it. It gets easier to read. That shouldn't be the case. It's bad. But they live off of this, and they understand. Look at that. Look at the bobblehead. It's fun. It's a great time. Now, you have other examples. While this one is sort of all over the place and it's sort of really crowded and crazy and whatnot, you've got the Drudge Report, which is fucking text. It's just text. There's a couple of images. It's hard to tell what relates to what. It's this is just a guy's face. Is this a current headline? Is this a continuing headline? Are these all independent headlines? Or is this one major headline? Who knows? It's all just spread out, and it's weird. And so, this is unorganized, and we'll talk about unorganized. You've got arngreen.net. This is the king of unorganization. There's no correlation. There's nothing that has any sort of relationship with one another. You've got a binocular set with a bullet on it right above a tank that's across from a collapsible bicycle set that's right next to a cart of some kind, and you've got a telescope, you've got a fire truck. Like it's all over the place. There's no correlation. You would think these are sections. They're not. They're specific. Like, look, that's just an item that you can buy. It's bad. It's bad. There's no organization. There's no plan. There's no reason for you to be a part of any of this. And so the question comes up to, how do you fix bad UI? That's the question of why my job exists and why a lot of people's job exists, as far as like, how do you solve this issue? And there are ways to do it. And I take sort of a 4-step approach to this. Now, step 1 is having a plan. This is taken straight from Link's Cars. This is just one of the listings at the top. I went through, I made a series of like what I liked, what I didn't like. I put in green. What I didn't like, I put in white, so that way I could address it later. And once I formulated my plan, I've got a good understanding of what all I want to address here. You start small. You slowly build up to it. That's all it takes, is a slow incremental growth. So I kept the image, as you can see. This is my update here on the right hand side. I kept the image. I adjusted some padding to make it feel a little bit more direct. You know, I've kept this because I decided we're going to keep that in there, but I moved it to a more appropriate spot. I aligned this text so that way it feels a little bit natural. And this isn't a big change. This is mostly just moving stuff around, but it's already noticeably cleaner and more compact, and it feels more approachable. And then over time, you can improve. It's iterations. You go this one step, and the next step, and the next step. So, you know, I took a look at what all I liked, kept it in green for my last one, and decided that I'm going to update these graphics to be a little bit less distracting compared to this. We don't all need very hyper realistic graphics for everything. So got this down, make sure the paint matched the car. So a nice little touch there. Use red because that's just an irrecognizable international thing for the engine. And made some slight adjustments here. And so again, you can see over time, little changes amount to big improvements. Things already look cleaner. It already looks more well kept. And then finally, you got to understand the limitations. Some things you're not going to be able to address. Just no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to address them. I'm sorry, it's just not possible. You know, I'm not going to be able to add clarity to this top thing. I don't really know what it is, but I can minimize it so that way it's not as distracting or impactful on the page. And say I couldn't get any clarity on this information down here. Say it's just a stakeholder limitation. I couldn't get an answer in time. We had to keep moving on the product, whatever the case may be. You learn to live with what you are given in life. Now you can get your own little victories. Like I added, you know, a nice background to it. I don't know, with a little bit of a drop shadow to make this really feel like a product card. I gave a little bit more of a click for more info to take them to the actual product page, give a little bit more of a call to action, a little bit more of a guidance. And this really helps so you can really see how you're getting from this initial random compilation of UI of different elements on the page and organizing it into a nice structured element. And that's good UI right there. Now we know how to make good UI. What makes great UI? What makes someone good at being good? And a lot of people are going to tie this up to things like color theory and problem solving capabilities and, you know, whatever you want to call it. You know, there's just really any number of things people could chalk it up to, but truly what makes great UI is you. You as the person that's going to interact with this and take it to the next level in whatever way, shape, or form that may be. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitch. I stream over there constantly. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Bye bye.